Hello everybody. Roger back one more time, one more contest. This one from my buddy Bill over at Vinylverse. Bill's got to be the biggest Genesis fan there is, but guess what I did, Bill? I finally picked me up a Genesis album. Saw this the other day at a store, used record shop, and I don't ever see it around here, but I saw Abacab, so I thought, oh man, I've been saying I'm gonna need to build on my Genesis, work on my Genesis, so I grabbed it. So, and I'm really like it. Glad I was able to pick it up. Bill's, this is for his 700 plus subscriber contest. It's kind of funny. I was going back looking through some of my notes I got a spiral notebook here that I've got I write down the contest and various videos and vinyl tags and all of that, and was looking through there, and I had written down there Bill's 100 subs contest. So Bill, congratulations, man. You come a long way. Keep putting out those great videos. You do such a great job. Bill's got 4 questions plus a bonus he wants us to do. First one is, how did we discover the VC and when did we do our first video? If you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes here. Make sure I get some dates and some names correct here. But in August of 2016, I took my wife for our 35th anniversary to, it's called First Monday in Canton, Texas. It is considered the largest flea market in the U.S. There's over 6,000 vendors, and it covers over hundreds of acres of land. And it's I think it's Thursday or Friday through Sunday, preceding the first Monday of every month. And she'd been wanting to go for years, and it's the opposite side of the state for us. But I was kind of wanting to go because Canton is where my mom's family is from, is that area. So I was glad to get over there and kind of see some stuff involving the family history and stuff too. But anyway, we were getting ready to go to this and go to that the First Monday. And so I was doing some looking up online, trying to find out some things to do, dates, times, hints about it since it's such a big place. And I ran across a YouTube video of a guy showing records, and his name was Punk Texas, showing video of records from a booth or a couple of booths at this flea market. So I was like, oh yeah, I know where I'm headed. If I can figure out where these guys are at, that's definitely where I'll be looking. And so was glad to see that. Well, after watching that, of course, on the side you get the pop-ups of other videos that might be interesting to you. And I started seeing these other ones pop up. And so I got to looking and watching, and I started watching some of these guys: Vinyl Richie, Paul, Baraka P. Dub, Bobby Gass, whichever one, 2, 3, 4, I don't remember which one you were on at that time, Bobby. Lise, L.E., Robin Boston, Shamrockin' Records, James Griffiths, Andy's Vinyl Den, and Billy Hirsch, just to name a few of them. I got really into those guys and watching their videos and just loved what they were showing. And everyone that I hang around with, I am considered the music guy, because I had records and they had 1 or 2 through the years, but they didn't keep them. I kept my records. And at the time when I first started truly collecting, I probably had maybe like this here. That's about how many I had. And that was it. And after watching these guys and getting into some of the bands I really like, and got to searching out other records and one thing or another, and man, and learned so much from every one of these people. And they had I don't remember who hosted it, but somebody was putting together a VC fantasy football league. And I did the fantasy football stuff, so I told them, I said, if they were kind of wanting people that did videos. And I told them if they still needed an extra person, I didn't do videos or anything, but if they need an extra person, I'd love to. Because I'd been commenting on some of these different guys' videos, but I just never had made one myself. And I told them, I said, if they need somebody else, let me know, make a comment or something, and I would be glad to join them and help out and being part of it. And so they were short, I think 1 or 2 people, and so they asked me to go ahead and get in, and so I did. And while I was in it, Chris from What Lurks on Channel X kept encouraging me, man, you need to make a video. You need to make a video. Come on, Roger, make a video. And because of that, I finally made my first video in September of 2017. So I'd been following the group, the VC, for almost a year, and finally decided to make a video. And I did my first video for Andy's Vinyl Den, his contest of See You in the Funny Papers, which is where he had people submit videos with a story that they thought was pretty funny, and he chose, or the group chose, I think he picked one, and then the group chose 3 or 4 to put in a comic book that he put together and did the artwork for and everything based on these stories from the VC. Great idea, great comic book. Andy, if you're watching, are you going to put out another one? That was such a neat deal you did. But so Andy's was the first video I did, was for his contest. And then the second one I did, just shortly after it, was from Andrew over at Tales from the Crate. And his contest just intrigued me so much. And it was the soundtrack of my life. And his deal was pick up 10 to 15 albums or whatever that track through your life. Maybe something from the very start, your first memories, and on up. Maybe in high school, what was you listening to, and when you got married, whatever. Anyway, just track your music history with different albums. And it was such a neat concept, and loved watching a few videos, and so I made my own for that. So those were if those weren't the first 2, they were right at it. I think those were the first 2 I made, though. Okay, on to our second question for Bill. He wanted us to show 1 or 2 records that we bought because of seeing them on the VC. This first one, I had never heard of this group. Why I never heard of them, I don't know. King Crimson. Everybody kept talking about and showing in Court of the Crimson King, and I was just like, man, I'm curious about this. Man, they keep showing it. Everybody keeps showing. And so I was at a garage sale, and they had this one, red, and you can see the cover's pretty rough on it, but the record was in great shape. It's dusty. But I had a handkerchief, and I grabbed it and kind of wiped it real quick, blew on it and wiped it, and it cleaned. What I saw looked pretty good, so I thought, well, I'll take a chance. And it was cheap, and because of the condition of the cover, and so I took a chance on it, and man, I ended up getting in the Court of the Crimson King off of another contest, but I don't know. I kind of like red better to do than I do Court of the Crimson King. Just my opinion, but definitely now I know why everybody was talking about King Crimson. Another one, I had seen this record, I don't know how many times, and didn't know anything about it. So I just kept pushing it aside and going around it, and finally heard people on the VC talking about it. And they started talking about how it was some progressive psych type music. And I was like, that sounds like that's up my alley. I kind of like some of that that late 60s, early 70s psych rock. And so finally picked this up, and I was just like, man, why have I been pushing this off? So it's a beautiful day, and King Crimson 2 I picked up because of the VC. 3, show your favorite or a favorite record from your collection. Of course, I've shown my favorites multiple times, but I'm going to show another one that is one of my favorites, and I've loved this record, and I've played it, not just real long ago, picked up maybe a year ago, picked up this record for the vinyl. I had it on 8-track back in the day, and that's Foreigner, self-titled. Love this thing. Man, I wore an 8-track out, and then I ended up having it on cassette and wore the cassette out. But finally got the vinyl and just love this record. And on the vinyl, especially side 1, feels like the first time. Cold as Ice, Star Rider, Head Knocker, and The Damage Is Done. Man, all great songs. So side 1 definitely, but love this record. 4th thing, Bill wants us to do some shout outs. Al, as I've said earlier, talking about how I got into it and watching the VC, I did several shout outs, but I want to do, I guess, kind of 2 parts here. The first part is people that I watch that no longer make videos. I wish they'd get back in it. One is RJ over at Bio City 1. Loved his videos. Great stuff. Big Kiss fan. I don't know why he quit making videos, but I tried getting onto his site the other day, and it shows, I guess since the new YouTube police got involved, there's no videos listed for him. Chris at Dude 1973. I knew he made the comment he was going to slack off a little bit, and because it was taking up too much of his time, and I understand that. But man, Chris, if you're watching, make some more videos, man. I always loved your videos. You're so good behind the camera and everything. This next one, Memphis Vinyl Jim and the Missus. They hadn't made one in, I think, over a year, and then I noticed 2 days ago they put out a new one. So glad to see them putting some more back out. And one, Garen in Omaha. I know Garen said he was going to stop because of dealing with a battle of cancer. I think this is like for the 3rd or 4th time that he's had cancer. Garen, would like to hear from you, man. I hope everything's going good with you. You always had some great videos. You're the one that showed probably the It's a Beautiful Day record, and I think you showed King Crimson's in the Court of the Crimson King. Always loved the stuff you showed. You turned me on to a lot of music. Hope you're doing good. I know you had met up with Hannah, the Omaha introvert. Hannah, give us an update on Garen, if he's not making videos, if you still see him or not. Always loved his channels. Some of the newer ones, and I say newer, they're newer to me. Some of these guys I think have been doing videos for quite a while, but somehow I never did get on board their channels. And I hate doing this because these guys, I know I'm going to leave people out when it gets to this point, but oh well, you can't remember them all, and you can't tell all of them. But the ones that just really catch my attention every time I see one pop up is Mike at Jam on Vinyl. He just recently had the Jam on History contest, which was a great idea, and loved the entries for that. Next, Jersey Joey, Under the Needle. He just recently had a contest. Nice, and may still be going even. Great channel. A lot of information. Showed lots of stuff in there. David Newton. He's got one going on right now. Him and his wife Erin with the Erin Go Bra St. Patrick's Day contest. And then the Jazz Shepherd. Man, he's very knowledgeable in his jazz music and just really in depth. And he's been showing lately some of the history with some of the different labels, like Verve. He did a 2-part series with the Verve label, the artists and how they came in and out, and how they changed directions with Verve labels and everything. But really enjoy his channel. So there you go, Bill. I hope that answers your questions. Oh, your bonus. Your bonus was name your favorite Genesis album and the favorite song off of that album. Well, I don't know for sure, Bill. But, our dogs, we're keeping the kids' dogs while they're out of town on spring break, and we got one that's a big old dog. They call him Duke. He's a big old thing, but man, he's a mutt. He got paws bigger than my hand, and he's only like 6 months old. He's gonna be a huge dog. And then they got a little Chihuahua, complete opposite, and they call her Duchess. So anyway, Bill, I hope that'll work out on your bonus question there. So we'll have a good one. Enjoying your contest, loving the entries that are being put in for it, and keep them going, man. Good luck to you. Hope your numbers just continue to grow.